Welcome to the Pammie Plus Parks live chat. It is Thursday, April 18th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and the topic for tonight's live chat is Fat and Fearless at Disney and Beyond. My name is Pammie. I am your plus size fairy godmother, bringing you all the magic that Disney, Universal, and Florida have to offer plus size people and people with all sorts of special concerns like mobility, accessibility, cognitive, and sensory concerns. But tonight it's all about my plus size friends. So we're going to be concentrating on trying to conquer some of our fears together. I know that we have a number of different kinds of fears that we face as plus size people that prevent us from fully enjoying our vacations, whether it's to Universal, Disney, or anywhere that we happen to be traveling. And I would like for us to share those. Tell me what your biggest fears are. I'll share some of mine with you. And hopefully some of you have conquered your fears and actually have some tips and advice that you'd like to share. And I hope that we get to do that this evening. But before we get into any of that, I have a little bit of business that I want to take care of. And it's awesome business. And that's to thank our moderators this evening. I believe, let's see who we have helping us moderate our live chat today. Let's see. It should be Buddy should be here, as well as Christina and Jenny. There may be somebody else I might be leaving out. I think that Karen said she might be here as well. All of those folks are also moderators at the Pammie Plus Parks Facebook group, and they have generously donated their time to come and moderate this live chat as well, so that we can keep everything family friendly and rated G, just like we do across all of the social media platforms for Pammie Plus Parks. So that's on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, here on YouTube. We try to keep it all fresh and family friendly. But before I forget, I want to make sure that I wish Mary a happy birthday. Mary, I hope you have a wonderful birthday tomorrow. I love you to death. Mary is also one of the moderators on our Facebook group, and she is the wife to Buddy, and Buddy and Mary are wonderful friends of mine, and I can't wait to see you when you come back to Florida again, and I'll get to wish you a very belated happy birthday in person. I also have a little bit of mail to share with you guys. A while ago, I got a post office box because so many of you requested it. And I've been getting little cards and notes and letters and things in the mail from you guys, and I've been collecting them. And eventually, I'm going to take all of those and put them on this wall that's over here. Ooh, you can see my mail, some other mail on the floor. But I'm going to take that wall and transform it into like a wall full of all the stuff that you guys send me, cards and letters and stuff like that, and pictures, drawings, whatever you guys send. And I'll put it all across that wall, and we'll have that as the background for the live chat someday. But today, we have this one postcard that came from Christina. And yes, it's the same Christina who's a moderator in this chat today. So thank you, Christina, for sending me this postcard. It says, this is from Christina and Corey, her fiance. It says, we had a wonderful time at Longwood Gardens, and the sights, sounds, and smells were all amazing. Such a beautiful place, but lots of places to sit and rest, and many ECV accessible. That is awesome. She says she wants to take Mark and I when we go, if we ever go and visit them there. Longwood Gardens is in, it doesn't say where it is, but you're gonna have to tell us where this is, Christina. But Longwood Gardens is absolutely gorgeous. Look at the picture. That's amazing. So if you guys have some place that you love to visit, a favorite place, or even if you have a postcard of your hometown where you're from and you want to share that with me, that would be awesome. That will go up on the sort of wall of fame that we'll create over here eventually when we collect enough things. I'm really excited about that. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the things. You guys are commenting like crazy, and I don't want to miss any comments because I know that some of you have come here prepared to share what some of your fears are, and we definitely want to address those. Let's see. I see Buddy's in here already. Hi, Frankie and Allison. Hello, Michelle. Let's see. Belinda's here as well. Hello. Candace, hi. How are you doing tonight? Bracken's here. Hello, Bracken. Everybody's here. That's awesome. Michaela says, my girlfriend and I are watching. We love your channel. Can you say hi to her? Her name is Liv. Hi, Liv. Oh, and I guess I should tell you the post office box if you want to mail things. The post office box address is down below in the description, and I also have their links to the Facebook group, Twitter, and Instagram where you can follow me. But the post office box is P.O. Box 16515, St. Petersburg, Florida 33733, USA. I remembered it. And please make sure that you address everything to pammieplusparks. Sarah says, I love your channel. You help me so much when it comes to going to Disney as a plus size girl. That is awesome to hear. Hello, Lionel. And Elizabeth's here as well. Hello, Christopher. Robert says, I've been visiting Universal and Disney in August. I have an issue with standing in line due to a medical issue. I have Express at Universal, but how does Disney Guest Assist work? Do I need a doctor's note? No, you do not need a doctor's note. You don't need one at Universal and you don't need one at Disney. You go to guest assistants in either one of those parks and you let them know that you have a medical concern that will not allow you to stand in lines for long periods of time. They generally don't ask you more questions than that. They don't press you to know what it is. The most that they will ask you is if you are able to if using a wheelchair or an ECV will help you. And if using a wheelchair or an ECV is enough to get you through the line, they will recommend that you rent a wheelchair or rent an ECV. But if your concern goes beyond that, like you just can't tolerate the lines for whatever reason it may be, PTSD, anxiety, some other medical concern that doesn't allow you to stay in the confines of a line for whatever reason that may be, you don't need to go into detail about it. You can just say that your medical concern goes beyond being able to stand. It's actually being in the line that is an issue. So they'll issue you, I believe it is a attractions assistance pass at Universal, and at Disney it's called a disability access service, I believe, DAS, D-A-S. So basically what that is they'll register either your ticket, your card at Universal, or your Magic Band or ticket at Disney. Take a little picture of you, assign that with it. If there's any other people in your party, they need to have their tickets or Magic Bands as well to swipe them to connect it all. And when you go to a ride, you'll get in line for the ride. You'll go to get in line for the ride and tell them that you have a disability access permit or pass or what have you, and they'll scan your ticket or your Magic Band, and they'll tell you what time to return for the ride. So if the ride wait is an hour long, they'll have you come back in about 45 minutes. And then you'll end up standing in line in like the express pass area for about 15 minutes or so before you're able to get on the ride. So it evens out to about an hour or maybe a little bit more. So your wait time is the same as the wait time as anybody else who's in the standby line, except you're not waiting in the line. You get to wait elsewhere and you have a shorter wait to get in. So that's great. That's very helpful. Honey and Baby Bee, thank you so much for your contribution. I really appreciate that. That is very, very sweet. Thank you. Sarah Slime says, one of my fears that, oh, whoops, hang on. One of my fears that I know you can't help with probably is if being plus size will affect being able to ride the new Skyliner when it opens. No, it will not. I cannot remember how many pounds the thing holds, but it holds thousands of pounds. Thousands. It can hold up to 10 people. So I believe that's I think it's 10 to 12 people. I've heard varying accounts from Disney. They've reported 12 in some cases and 10 in others. So like 3 to 4 people on each of the 2 benches, and then a bunch of people standing. But if you've got a wheelchair in there, ECV, stroller, those sort of things take up extra room, so you aren't going to have as many people in there. And the larger the people are, the less room there is, so there'll be fewer people in there. The cast members who are loading you on are going to keep a close eye on that. Even though they have like a limit of many thousands of pounds that can fit on it, even if they went right up to that maximum level, I'm sure that the Skyliner cars can actually hold even more weight than they calculate you putting in there, just to be safe, because that's how Disney is. They're safe like that. So no, you don't need to worry about that. You're going to be fine. Cast members will make sure that the cars are not overloaded, and you will be nice and safe. I don't think I would worry about that at all. Let's see. April says, I love your tips and tricks for getting on and off rides. Makes me feel more comfortable and prepared. And I have to say, for a lot of people, getting past fears about whether or not they're able to get on a ride, what the line is going to be like, what the seats are going to look like, all of those things those fears can be dealt with simply by doing a bit of research and watching videos, not just this channel, but many other channels out there. There's a lot of great content out there. If you get on YouTube and you type in plus size Disney rides, you may find some other people who are also doing similar types of videos, maybe from a different perspective. Maybe they're a different height or size, maybe they're a guy, it could be a family, what have you. Look for those folks, watch their videos, learn as much as you can, join as many plus size groups as you can on Facebook. And a great one is Disney Parks for Plus Size Guests, Disney Pals Plus, Disney Made Easy for Everyone. There's tons of them out there. If you type plus size Disney, you're going to come up with dozens and dozens of different groups that are terrific resources. Do your research and ask questions. Be prepared to share with people how tall you are, how much you weigh, your clothing sizes, and a picture of yourself. These groups that are private groups do a really good job of screening the people that are in there, and they work really hard to make sure that nobody's picking on each other or anything like that. You don't really see that very often, if at all. And you can feel comfortable sharing that information so that other people who are similar size and shape and weight as you can actually give you their own personal firsthand experience to tell you like what to expect. I see we have another super chat. Thank you, Robert. Robert says, thanks for all you do, Pammie. Thank you so much for that super chat. I really appreciate it. All those contributions really make a big difference and help a lot with making me be able to actually create more of these videos. It's an expensive hobby, a very rewarding hobby, not financially, but but it does take a lot to run the channel. So I appreciate all those contributions. An alternate way to make contributions, especially if you're contributing from overseas and you want to watch out for any special fines or fees or taxes, is through PayPal. There's a link to the PayPal contribution account for Pammie Plus Parks down below in the description if you're interested in that. Oops. Let's see. I just managed to knock myself right out of our live chat. Let me go back to it because I want to read all your questions. I actually pull up this live chat in my on my laptop so that I can see it really big. And I just managed to knock myself out. Let's see if I can get back in there. There we go. Let's see. Some other people had some great things to say in here and I don't want to miss it. Okay. Michelle says, I'm nervous that all the walking will make me sweat so much that I'll ruin any picture I'm in with my family and need to reapply my sunscreen every 20 minutes. I have to tell you, I go to the parks all the time. I am a sweater. I am a sweaty Betty like you wouldn't believe. I sweat buckets and buckets and buckets. There's no two ways around it. I'm going to sweat no matter what, but I do find that if I want to look fresh, and you guys see me in videos, and if you look closely in some of the ones in the summer, you can just see the water coming off my face. But people go, oh, you look so fresh and cool, and I'm really not. But I find that if you find hairstyles that work for you where you can completely pull your hair off your face and off your neck, off the back of your neck and up off your shoulders, you're going to be a little bit cooler. At a certain point in Florida, when the heat index is like 114 degrees, it's 98 out, but it feels like 114, you're just going to be hot. You're just going to sweat. But what I do is I carry a very small, I wish I had one with me. I thought about bringing it, but I didn't. I carry a really small, like, those chamois that you get, the microfiber ones that come in bright colors. You get them in Walmart in a little roll for $2. I take one of those with me to the park, and sometimes I cut them down smaller and fold it and put it in my bag. And right before I go to shoot myself or have a picture taken, I blot my face with the cloth to absorb the sweat, and it works great. Another thing that I find works really, really great is to use a lip stain, like Burt's Bees. It has SPF in it, and it stains your lips so that they even if you've eaten or if you had something to drink and your lip color comes off, there's still a bit of color there, and it doesn't smear all over the place. So a little bright pop of color on your lips will really kind of make those pictures really pop and look great. And another thing that I do for pictures, really, as far as sunscreen goes, I make sure I like to use Coppertone Kids. It's sweat proof and waterproof. I do have to reapply it every 70 minutes or I will get a burn. I am very fair skinned and I get freckles really easily. I have a lot of sun damage. And I have a lot of fear about having more sun damage. So, I do put on sunscreen. However, what you do when you put the sunscreen on, what I do is I go indoors somewhere for a while. I drink a cold drink. I let my body cool off and the sweat dry off my face and arms. And then I reapply the sunscreen. It's easier to put sunscreen on when your skin is dry than when it's wet. So always take little cool off breaks. It'll help get your body temperature back down and you can put your sunscreen on a little easier. So really, it's not too hard to look fresh in a picture. I think for me, the best things that you can do to keep yourself looking fresh is to keep a nice, neat, tight hairstyle that's off your face and neck. If you have eyebrows, what I do with my eyebrows is I have pretty good eyebrows, so I don't color them in, but I use a little bit of waterproof mascara to darken them and shape them a little bit. Then I spray hairspray on my finger and I tap the hairspray into my eyebrows so that my eyebrows stay in place. And then a little bit of lip stain. And no matter how hot you get, you're still gonna look kind of fresh and clean and simple, and it works really well for me. And I haven't had anybody complain that I look like I'm dying in any of my videos or pictures. People are saying, "Oh, you look so great," and I don't have any makeup on or anything. It's just sunscreen, mascara, and lip stain. Christopher Smith says, going to Walt Disney World tomorrow, Seven Dwarfs is always a squeeze. That's true. It is the lap bar for Seven Dwarfs. Mine Train, you have to put both of your knees between this U-shaped, like it's an upside down U, and you have to put both of your knees between it. And if you have large legs like I do, it can be impossible, which it is for me. I only get 1.5 legs under there. So if you do have heavier legs and you're worried about, or you've had knee surgery or you have a knee problem, I would not try this ride. I would skip it because you're going to hurt your knee. But if your knees are okay and you have slimmer thighs and you think you can get them in between a space that's about 13.5 inches wide, try it. It's a fun ride. I avoid it usually because it's not comfortable for me. What else do we have here? Allison says, one of my biggest fears has been for my upcoming vacation is looking nice as well as feeling good about myself in the parks. I'm about 5'4" and about 270 pounds. Well, I'm 5'4" and I have weighed as much as 398. You've seen me in the videos weighing as much as 378 pounds. And I'm currently right around 348 pounds or so. Your weight has nothing to do with it. I mean, you can look good and look your best and look groomed no matter what your size is. I would recommend to you to maybe like a month or so before your trip, get a haircut or a hairstyle that you think is going to work great for you in the parks and be something that's going to stay off your face and neck and stuff and keep you, cool. If you're worried about your hairstyle and how it's going to look styled in the parks, go to your hairdresser and make an appointment. Tell them that you're going to Disney. Tell them what your concerns are with your hair. And if they can teach you a few simple hairdos, that will help you get through the parks looking tidy. And that's something I definitely recommend that you do. That's a simple task. I mean, if you can keep your hair neat and not sticking up all over the place, you can keep your eyebrows straight and a little bit of lip tint on. And like I said, Burt's Bees lip stain is fantastic. It's got the SPF, it's moisturizing, and it leaves a little bit of color in your lips. I think that's really what's going to help you look polished. And don't be afraid to take the things you need in the park. Like I have that blotting cloth. It's a microfiber cloth that you use to wipe your car off when it's wet. If it's going to dry an entire car, it's going to absorb the sweat on my face. And you can dab that on your face really quick before you have your photos, and it'll look fantastic. And there's something else about photos. You can touch your photos up afterwards. You can either hire someone to do it, or you can use a free thing that's online called BeFunky, BeFunky, befunky.com. Go there and they have like some free tools that you can use to kind of like get rid of like, I didn't know this till recently, but you can kind of smooth out things and smooth out blemishes and things. And it's really fun to try and practice and learn to do it. And you can kind of touch up little spots here and there if you feel like you need to do that with photos. But yeah, there's lots of cool free things that you can do. Let me see what else we have. About not feeling, I don't know what else you mean by not looking nice, as well as feeling good about myself in the parks. Let's see. Really, when you get into the parks, you're going to see there's tons of people there who are plus size. Not just other guests, but other cast members and stuff. And you're going to see that there's a lot of people of a lot of different sizes. There's people of a lot of different backgrounds, a lot of different clothing styles, a lot of different walks of life. You're going to just blend right in and you don't need to worry about that. There are a lot of different, unusual people. There's so much stuff to look at. You don't have to worry about people looking at you or I don't know. I mean, if you keep yourself looking fresh and tidy and neat and you wear clothes that are comfortable to you in colors that make you happy, I think you're going to feel good about yourself and you're going to feel excited to go to the parks. That's something that is kind of hard, that takes a while to work on. I think one of the things that people make a mistake about when going to the parks is they buy a bunch of outfits and maybe they try it on in the dressing room once and then they pack it in their bags. Buy your clothes in advance, as far in advance as you possibly can, and put the clothing through some trial runs around your house and doing little things around your neighborhood and test them out. Even if you're just wearing them around your house, to feel if they really feel comfortable, if they really make you feel like you look good. I've had times when I bought a shirt, like a tank top or something, and I've worn it around the house and I realized that the opening on the tank top was really, really low. My bra was hanging out. Thank goodness I tried it out around the house, because if I got into the park and realized that, you know, my underwear was showing, I probably would not have been comfortable. But that's kind of one of the things, is just, you know, check out your outfits and even take pictures of yourself in them, or have people take pictures of video of you in your outfits, in your hairstyles before you go, so you can tweak them and get them looking just the way you want them to look before you go. And that will give you a little more confidence, I think, because you'll know what to expect. Timmy Bain says, coming all the way from New Zealand, ever thought your videos would reach that far? No, not in a million years. That's amazing. In October, and I hope to bump into you. Your videos are wonderful. Thank you, Timmy Bain. I hope I run into you too. That's amazing to me. I am shocked and honored and in awe that there are people all over the world that are watching these videos and it's touching their lives and making a difference. It's not just me though, you know, like these live chats where we talk to each other, you guys are feeding me things to talk about and you're sharing things with one another in the Facebook group. We're sharing things on Twitter and Instagram with one another, and we've built this amazing community and we're helping each other, and you're giving me things to look for and things to talk about and ways to help each other and to build the community. So you guys are as much a part of this as I am, but I'm honored that you let me be the person on the camera and you let me make the videos and that you're watching them and that you're sharing them with each other and sharing all your experiences and knowledge with each other and supporting one another. It's amazing. Let's see. Who else do we have? Caitlin says, thank you so much for your videos. They have helped me get over my fear of going so much. I'm so glad to hear that. And there's lots of different fears that we have as plus size people. Lots of things that maybe are the same or similar to what other people have, and some of them are a little bit different and unique to us. Let's see. Orlando Theme Park 360. Hi, Brian. Says something that may help. Nobody has time to notice you. They're busy with their agenda. And Brian could not be more right about that. And by the way, do check out Orlando Theme Park 360. He's going to be making some really cool adjustments to his channel in the future. He may even change the name of his channel, but follow him now so that when he starts coming out with all his amazing new content, you'll like really be on top of it. He is really fantastic. He's in the theme parks quite a bit, but he has a lot more to offer than just theme park stuff. He's a really cool guy. But he's absolutely right about that. Especially like Brian goes to the parks all the time. I go to the parks all the time. So we are in a position where where we're not just going and enjoying the parks, we're observing people. And the thing that I notice all the time is that people are so absorbed in their own families, in their phone, in their map, in their agenda, and what they're going to next, that they're really not paying attention to you and what you're doing. And even if someone were to give you a fleeting glance at what you're wearing, or maybe they think your shoes are weird or whatever, they're so fast, they're by you so quickly, and it's so instantaneous that it doesn't really have time to sink in. So don't even worry about that. There was a time shortly after I like started going gray, and for the first few times that I wore my hair down in the parks, fully down instead of pulled back with this gray hair, that people would stare at me and stuff, and I didn't know that it was the hair. I just thought, oh, those people think I'm ugly or whatever. Oh well, go look at something else. This one woman kept staring and staring and staring, and I thought, oh, she's gonna come up. She's looking at me like this, like. I thought, oh no, she's gonna come up and say something mean to me. Turns out she said, your hair is amazing. Did you have someone color it that? Can I take a picture of your hair? Because I want my stylist to do my hair just like yours. I want it to look gray, exactly like that. What's your stylist's name? So this woman who was giving me like the stink eye forever and staring at me, and I could tell it looked like she was trying to take pictures of me, finally gave up, came up and started talking to me. And it wasn't that she thought I was ugly or awful. She just wanted hair like mine. So sometimes people are staring at you and you have no idea why. You think it's because they have something ugly on their mind, and it can be the complete opposite. It's kind of crazy. We let our minds play tricks on us, and we think that people are up to no good, and sometimes they're not. I've had times when people have stared at me or given me what I thought was the stink eye, and then they've come up to me and said, oh, your glasses are so cool. I haven't seen purple eyeglasses before. Where did you get them? So that's the way that is sometimes. Disabled at Disney is here from England. Hello, Disabled at Disney. Do you have like a Facebook group or a YouTube channel or something like that where you post videos? Because I definitely would love to check your channel out and see what you've got, or see if you're offering information on being disabled at Disney. Gosh, that's really amazing. We want to definitely spread your information around and share it with people so they can take a look at it. Robin says, hi, Pammie. My granddaughter and I are excited to be watching you live, and I'm happy to see you, Robin. And thank you for all the amazing ears. Robin was one of the people who, the last live chat you saw where I had like all those ears come in, she was one of the people who gave me a bunch of ears. And if you guys saw my Flight of Passage video, the most recent one I posted, I wore a pair of Robin's ears to the park then. Chris and Tony channel says, hey, Pammie, your vids are great. I'm the one that gave you that tip for Flight of Passage. That's right, a couple of days ago. It's great to see you. It's great to see you too, Chris and Tony. Chris had mentioned to me, I had to do an early exit for Flight of Passage. And after the fact, I thought about it later, how like, oh, my feet were kind of to the front of the vehicle, but my whole torso wasn't as close as it could be. I could have scooched a little further, but I couldn't manage to get in there closer. And his tip for me was, while you're standing, walk your feet and make sure your feet touch the front of the vehicle before you sit down. And I didn't do that. Like, you can hang on to the handlebars on the front of the car and walk your feet all the way forward and push your torso all the way in and then sit down. So that's something I can try next time. That may help me too. We'll see. Katie says, sending love and gratitude from not too far away, Gainesville. Hello, Katie. It's good to see you here. Bracken says, I am hoping my next big trip will be to England. I would love to go to the UK. I have some wonderful friends there that I would love to visit for sure. That would be amazing. Sam Shield says, have you ever done a video about the Christmas party, like how exactly it works? I haven't yet. I've never been to the Christmas party. I did one for the Halloween party. I don't know how similar they are. They might be very similar. I'm not sure, but I would love to do the Christmas party this year. I have not decided if I will. I want to go with my husband. The tickets are over $100 each. It already costs about $400 a month to run the channel. And I do make money from ads, and people do make contributions, and that does help, but it's an expense. So I don't know if it's something that I'll do. I might. I don't know. We'll see. It might come up, it might not. It just depends on how things will work out. Let's see. Amy Hornsby says, my biggest question is to forget how you look and get all the pictures. When my mom died, we had very few pictures of her as she avoided pictures, and I decided not to do that anymore for my son. Amy, I have to tell you that is probably one of the best decisions you will ever make. Get as many pictures taken of yourself as possible. And this is a tip that I've shared before in other videos, but it bears talking about here. One fear people have is of having their picture taken. I will tell you that most of the photographers, when they take pictures of you, the PhotoPass photographers will take 6 pictures. They'll take 2 shots from the chest up, 2 from the waist up, and 2 full body shots, unless you do poses and you do a little dancing and you move around, and then they'll take a bunch of photos. I usually get like 10 or 12 photos every time I pose, because they're like, oh, you'll do this? Oh, you want a magic shot? Oh, do you want to stand like this? Because they see I'm game and I'm excited and I'm happy to pose. So they pose me in a lot of different positions, and I get a lot of extra pictures that way because I'm excited about having my picture taken. And I'll tell you what, when you get 6 pictures to choose from, usually you're going to get 1 that's good. But when you get 12 pictures taken, you're going to have 4 or 5 that you really like. And get as many pictures as taken as you can. But before you leave on your trip, start taking pictures of yourself. You don't need to share them with anyone. Take selfies every day. Take videos every day. I'm taking video. This is on my cell phone right now, right? So you can set your cell phone up, put it on a tripod or whatever, and take video of yourself just talking into the camera about anything. Get used to seeing yourself on camera. The first time I started doing these videos and was seeing myself on camera, I was like, ugh, I'm horrible. But the more I watched myself, the more I saw things that other people saw in me, little quirks about my personality, things about my face, things about my voice and my gestures that people would tell me they thought was really cute. And I started to see those cute things that other people saw. I'm not saying it like made me get a swelled head or I thought I was gorgeous or something, but I started to see what other people were seeing in me. And I learned how to kind of bring those things out a little bit more and to be a little more animated and to express those parts of my personality more and let them shine a little bit more in pictures. So practice makes perfect with anything, and photographs are no different. So don't be afraid to take pictures of yourself. You're going to have a lot less fear of getting pictures taken if you've been having pictures taken of yourself before you even go on your trip. Start getting used to what you look like before you go. What's going on? Mark's here. What are you doing?
I've been messaging and you haven't said anything.
Oh, well, I'm trying to get through all the notes here that everybody's... Did I skip yours? There's a lot of messages in here. Do you want to come sit over here? Do you want to get that chair?
I'm going to do better.
You going to sit on the bed? Let's see.
I'm tired.
What are you doing? You guys, this is my husband, Mark, who's in here behind me.
I gotta sit like this.
I guess so, unless you get the chair over there.
Look at my bald head. I might as well just shave it. Look at that.
It looks fabulous. So Christina has been to some of the Christmas parties, so she may be able to actually answer some questions. And if you're a member of our Facebook group or Disney Parks for Plus Size Guests, that's a great place to ask any specific questions that you have about the Christmas party. Let's see. Julie says, Mother Nature is my stylist. And sometimes when you're in the park and it's raining and it's hot, Mother Nature will be your stylist for sure. Frankie Miller says, your genes determine when you go silver, like Pammie and me too. Yeah, I started going gray when I was 11 years old.
I started going bald when I was 18. Family curse.
Yeah, it happens. So I have no control over this. And people are like, oh, like who colors your hair? And I'm like, Jesus does, not me. I just grows like this. I can't do anything about it. I see that Brian from Orlando Theme Park 360 was talking about Cali River Rapids. I actually just did a video for this past weekend. It says Cali is a step down and a very long seatbelt. Any ride with a seatbelt, pull it out, then sit. It's very easy. I will beg to differ with you on that, Brian. It is actually one of the shortest seatbelts. It is the shortest seatbelt of any seatbelt in any of the rides at Disney. However, it is doable even for someone my size. I have really large thighs, a really big belly. That's where I carry all my weight. What I did for Cali River Rapids, because it's a belt where it buckles, you have two sides that buckle together in front of you. The side that has the extra belt, I pulled it all the way out as long as I could get it. I backed against the seat and I actually buckled about mid-thigh. Buckled it together, put my legs together tight, buckled it closed, then sat down in the seat and moved the seatbelt, shimmied it up my body so that it was underneath my belly. So I know that, Brian, you might have an easier time of it because you're taller and maybe your legs are slimmer. But for some of us ladies who have really big thighs and larger bellies, you cannot buckle that belt around your belly. You're going to have to do it over the mid-thigh or top of your thighs and then sit down. And that worked great for me. So it is doable. And actually it's 3 steps down into the boat. They're really, really small, and there's metal handrails that will help guide you down to get into the boat. So it's real easy to get in and out of. Just walk very carefully and slowly. Let's see. Trying to see if there's new ones in here. There's a lot of you guys who are chatting with each other. I see your note to me in here. It says, "Hey, sexiness, you look like rawr." You know, normally if we saw something like that, it would get deleted, but Buddy and Christina and everybody, they know that that's Mark saying that, so they left it there. So normally we don't let people say stuff like that in here, but Mark gets a free pass.
Maybe there's something else if you keep looking.
I hope it's not dirty.
No, it's not.
Disabled to Disney says, I'm slowly trying to build up info on disabled entrances, getting into rides and general info, mostly on Facebook, Disabled at Disney Paris. I'm a fan of your channel. I'm a fan of you too. Thank you so much for having put that together, putting that guide together. Make sure you stay in touch with me, pammieplusparks at Gmail. Down below, send me an email. We'll kind of connect and continue to share information back and forth. A lot of folks in my group do go to Disneyland Paris, and your information will be super, super helpful. Joanne Harda asked, "Pammie, do you have a Patreon account?" Not yet, and I don't know if I will, because Patreon, on there's kind of a drive to give the Patreon members extra stuff. And I know this sounds terrible, but I am pushing myself to the limit to create the videos that I'm creating now, to just give you that much content, and also still do Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. So coming up with additional content for the Patreon folks, it's just something I don't have a lot of the time and energy to do. As Mark knows, I have, we try to keep the house as nice as we possibly can. I'm not doing a good job at that. Cooking and cleaning, and then I work 40, 50
Luckily,
hours a week.
we don't entertain, so we don't care.
Just so we kind
of. Right now, if you were to see any other part of the house, it'd be like 50,000 dead animals worth of fur laying out there.
I know. Our cats are in the middle of shedding season, so it's crazy. But yeah, so yeah, that's why I don't do Patreon. But if you do want to contribute to the channel and you don't want to use Super Chat, which I totally understand, there is a PayPal account that you can use. Down below in the description is a link to the Pammie Plus Parks PayPal account. It is not my personal account. It is a business account. So it's designated just for this channel. So that money goes right back into the channel.
We have discussed Patreon and bounced ideas around for everything, and it's just there's a lot to it. It's just right now we're not thinking that's direction.
Right. I mean, and it's not as wonderful it is to have the financial help and people's contributions. I'm not trying to make a living off this. This is really something I'm trying to just make enough money to make it sustainable so I can continue to do stuff for you guys. So kind of not the thing I'm really worried about. Deadman's Den TV. Don't do that. Stop it. Says, Pammie and I dance all the time. I don't know. I dance. I don't know about you. Oh, you do dance.
I do dance.
He does magical dances.
Yes.
Really special.
It's like unicorn dance.
Somebody asked if I would ever do a video just walking around the resorts, and we do that for fun for ourselves. I don't know. I mean, maybe we would someday.
I have a confession to make. This is one I feel like ultra terrible about. Pammie had like months of stuff on an SD card, and I did some cleaning a couple weeks ago, and I just grabbed some stuff, and it was us walking around. We did the Snow White dinner. We did like what was it, Fort Wilderness?
Fort Wilderness. So we did
And
vlog it, yeah.
you know, there were other ones that we had recorded on our own trips and stuff, and it got lost. All that stuff is gone, and we're hoping and praying that it shows up. If you are the praying type, please do pray, because I mean, months of videos that she had backlogged and ready to go is just gone.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where you can always say, hey, should have backed it up. And, you know, but that's not the point. It's learning experience, but it still stinks that it all got lost. And so we're really hoping that we can find it.
But yeah, I definitely want to do that someday. But I also have to start covering the water parks. I've got that to do too. That's up ahead as well. Sam Shield says, I appreciate the videos you make. You have actually helped my anxiety about being in public around people. So thank you so much. I'm really glad to hear that, Sam. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you so much for your contribution, for your super chat. That is awesome. I'm really happy these videos are making a difference. And I have heard from a number of people who are not plus size and don't have any other sort of physical concerns, but they have anxiety, and like being able to see what to expect in the parks can be very helpful to some folks. And I'm really, really, really happy that has helped. Sam says hi to you. Christina says hello to you, Mark.
Oh, well,
Noelle
hi.
says hello to you.
Hello.
To him.
That's right, because I'm awesome.
You're Captain Awesome.
That's right.
Wow, look at this. Kathy Bain says, looking good, Mark. Kathy Bain? That's my man.
Good. I can barely stay awake. Thank you.
So
That's a compliment. My hair is falling out and my eyes are barely open. And I'm choking on the remnants of Taco Bell. So, yay. Thank you.
It is possible, Brian, that they did change the seatbelt setup since the refurbishment, because I have heard other people say that it was a belt that comes around. And when I went, I experienced it, and I looked at everybody else. And I looked at other boats. It was a clip in the front, kind like you have on Dumbo and Magic Carpets and stuff. You know how that clip clicks in the front? It was the same style of belt as that. Let's see. Arlene says hello. Christina's giving all kinds of advice about the Christmas party. That is awesome. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, isn't that, didn't you meet them there last year? Christina
and Corey. I met them in Epcot. Christina had applied to be a moderator of the Facebook group, and I had her on my list of people that I was going to invite to be a moderator. And in the midst of everything that was going on, her then boyfriend emailed me and said, I have this girlfriend and I want you to meet her. It's her birthday and I'm planning to surprise her by proposing to her and all this other stuff. And normally I just say to somebody, I'm sorry, I don't meet people in the parks, because I just can't do that. I can't meet every single person who asks. But there was something about, he said her name, Christina, and mentioned her birthday. And I was like, could this be the Christina that's the same Christina that applied to be a moderator? So I went and Facebook stalked him, saw his picture and matched his picture up with her picture, because he had pictures of her on his profile. And I went, oh, it's the same person. So I actually worked it out. It took us 3 months to coordinate that. And you see her in one of the videos, Pammie's Epic Epcot adventure. I get to meet Corey and Christina in that. And yeah, that's how I met them. It took us 3 months to coordinate that. That's why I don't usually do meetups in the park where I specifically go to meet people, because it is so hard to coordinate it. It can be really, really tough. Noelle says, do you have any healthy meal restaurant recommendations at Disney? I personally like at Epcot, we love Morocco.
Morocco is fantastic. Another healthy option that I like is, I mean, it's expensive, but it's healthy, is Japan. You know, Epcot, you can get a hold of quite a few options, but be prepared to pay. The land isn't too bad. They've got some decent options at Epcot. As far as Magic Kingdom, some people will disagree. Maybe somebody can chime in and correct me, but I think all the food choices at the Magic Kingdom pretty much leave something to be desired, especially if you're trying to eat healthy. Like, I'm not the biggest health eater on the face of the earth, but I don't want to constantly be shoving burgers and fried food in my mouth. And when I go to Magic Kingdom, about the only place I eat is Columbia Harbor House, and I can get like some salmon or something.
Well, and Columbia Harbor House also has soup. They have salads. They have a tuna sandwich. They have things that are not fried food. They have a chicken pot pie, and you can get steamed veggies on the side. So they have a lot of different things that are a little bit healthier there. And then thinking Hollywood Studios. I like they have a fantastic salad in the commissary there.
The commissary, has a couple of different things. That, again, if I remember right, there's a fish option. At Animal Kingdom, I think that's where, isn't that where all that Avatar junk is?
The Satuli Canteen is like my all-time
Oh yeah, that
favorite
place
quick
is
service.
awesome. And I hate freaky weirdo food, and I absolutely love the noodle and food option.
Right.
Something popped up from somebody. I want to address it. I saw it actually on this screen, not this screen. I'm not going to get the name, so I'm sorry. But somebody asked if, you know, if it's a concern bumping into people like on accident at the park is a stalkerish. No, that's actually kind of fun. Bumping into people at the park, like legitimately bumping into people. It's a blast. We always take a minute and talk. I get a personal kick out of it, watching people go, "Oh my God, Pammie!" Oh, and they freak out, and then watch all the little teenagers bust out their cell phones and try to figure out who Pammie is. It's entertaining, to say the least.
I didn't tell you this, but when I went on Cali River Rapids, and I was vlogging on the boat and kind of like doing my thing on the raft boat, whatever. These two kids that were like tweens. One was, he's maybe like 13 or 14, and the sister was like 9, 10, 11, something like that. And they're like, "Hey, ma'am, excuse me, but are you a vlogger?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I am." And they're like, "Awesome. What's your channel?" They whipped out their phones on the boat and subscribed to the channel. And they'll, because they're hoping to see themselves in a video, and they will. I didn't purposely shoot them, but they are in the background of some of the shots, so I thought that was pretty funny. So yeah, but yeah, I do love running into people in the parks. I love like spending a few minutes like talking to you, seeing how things are going. I will take pictures with you. If you want to record the outro to the videos, we can do that too. That's always cool. I love it. It's always nice to like put a face to the names of the people that are like in the live chats and stuff.
I'm always one too who kind of I'm way more observant than she is, and I'll notice like people going kind of like this. And there's been a couple times where I've called people over and they're all excited and stuff.
Yeah. That's the weird thing too. Like people are afraid to say something to me, and I hear and somebody actually did send me a note, and they said to me that they saw me on Cali River Rapids, but they didn't say anything when I got off the ride. I'm like, "Why didn't you stop and say hello?" They guess they feel weird about it. But if you see me actually vlogging and I have the camera, come up to me and say something. I can always re-record it, or if you want, wait till I stop.
Be courteous and hang on a second and wait till she's done. I mean, it's always nice to meet the people because, the whole thing is, it's for you guys anyway. And
That's right.
if you want to say hi, knock yourself out. It's not like gonna upset anybody.
Noelle, you said you were looking for protein options. Please keep in mind that any quick service that you go into, but especially even the Satuli Canteen, you have the option of asking just for the meat. So if you just want to go get a burger, you can just get the burger. You can get the burger and the lettuce and tomato if you want. You can get just the chicken of whatever it is. You don't have to get the bread and stuff like that. They actually charge you less when you get just the meat. Satuli Canteen, if you're on a really strict protein keto type diet, that's a great place to go. You can just go and ask for just the meat, and that's it. So keep that in mind. That's a great place. They have different options. They have like a sweet potato option as the base, a salad.
Jeff Stanton, shout out. There you go, dude.
Who's Jeff Stanton?
I don't know. I just saw him on there. He said, "Give a shout out to Jeff Stanton." There you go, dude.
There you go. Eric, bye. Thank you for joining us. I appreciate that. Orlando Theme Park 360 says Disney just put out a vegan menu at the Disney guidebook this week that may help locate where healthier options are. I can also recommend a new for purchase book if it's okay to say in chat. Yeah, you can do that. Go ahead and reach out to Brian at Orlando Theme Park 360. He might be able to hook you up with that. But yes, they do now have a vegan guidebook for anybody at Walt Disney World.
You need to come up with a Mediterranean guide for people like me.
Then that's keto diet.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, that's just meat and cheese. You're made out of meat and cheese.
I am. I'm totally made out of meat and cheese. Again, most people are, whether they want to admit it or not. Meat, cheese, and water.
Okay, let's see. I'm trying to
Am I totally screwing up your whole flow
Not
of
at
what
all.
you were trying to do? Because when I come in, it kind of becomes like baloney time.
No, it's fine. So let's get back on track, though, about fears, because you guys are talking about everything but Disney fears. And I just kind of wanted to talk about, like, what inspired me to have this as a topic tonight was that after I released the Flight of Passage video, the most recent one on Monday, and I had to do an early exit, people kept saying, oh, you're so brave. You're so courageous for doing this. The fact that you'll go back and keep trying again and again, you're courageous, you're brave. And I kept thinking, no, because if there were a fire, I'd run the other way. If I saw a snake, I would scream. I'm afraid of escalators. I'm afraid of moving walkways. I'm afraid of balloons. I'm afraid of fireworks.
Balloons? I didn't know about that one.
I'm afraid of balloons. But yeah, so like there's tons of stuff I'm afraid of. I am not a brave person whatsoever, but I just have a weird way of looking at life. To me, trying a seat, sitting on a piece of plastic, checking it out and seeing if that seat works for me, trying and seeing if I can get on a ride, is like trying on a pair of shoes. I'm not humiliated if it doesn't fit me. I would not be humiliated if a pair of Converse did not fit my feet. I'd be aggravated because I wanted those Converse. I'd be if they didn't have my shoe size, they didn't have the style I wanted, I'd be aggravated and frustrated if I had to go to another store to get them, but I wouldn't be humiliated. It's not my fault that the shoes don't come in my size or aren't made to fit my feet. How is that my fault? Same thing with the ride. The only reason why you should be humiliated if you go to get on a ride and it doesn't work for you is if you designed the ride. If you created a ride that is supposed to be family friendly and accessible and be good for everyone to try and ride and it doesn't work for everyone, then you can be ashamed. But if you go to get on it and it doesn't work for you, you didn't design it. Why are you ashamed? I don't always understand that completely. It's not your fault. I know people think, oh, I'm fat, so because I'm fat, it's my fault. How dare I? You still have a right to try things.
Dude, live your life, man.
Yeah, you have a right to live your life. You have a right to check things out and see if they'll work for you. And if they don't, at Walt Disney World and even at Universal Studios, there are dozens upon dozens upon dozens of rides and attractions and cool things that are going to work great for you, that you're going to love. Move on to the next thing. Don't cry. Don't bemoan things. Don't feel sad. Don't make everyone else in your family and your group uncomfortable. Don't ruin your hour, your day, your week, your vacation. Just brush it off and move on because there's so many cool things to enjoy. Don't let that cloud your memories.
And this is one of the things that we had talked about super early on in one of the videos was, the memories you make are based on your reactions to the situations you're in at the time. And, being fearful of trying stuff while you're at the parks is going to prevent you from making memories anyway.
It's absolutely true. Sam says that he's terrified of getting, or she, I don't know if Sam is a gal or a guy, sorry about that. Sam is terrified of getting their head knocked off on roller coasters or getting thrown from the seat so you don't ride them. Did you see my rock and roller coaster video and my Tower of Terror video? Those true fear. Like, I was doing everything I could to choke down my lunch and, push myself to go on rock and roller coaster. I even told Mark that I might not go on the ride. I might just fake it and say that I did. And he's like, no, everybody's going to know that you didn't go, and you have to get your picture taken on the ride. And so I made sure I did get my picture taken on the ride. I mean, I was so fearful I was ready to ruin my integrity. Because I do not like my head being near the ground. Being upside down is ridiculous. That roller coaster goes upside down 3 times, and I thought I was going to die if I went on it because I've never learned how to do, I've never done a cartwheel. I have never in my life dove off of anything head first ever in my whole life because I cannot stand the idea of my head going first down at the ground. And I went on that roller coaster only because I promised that I would. I said that I would do it for you guys, and I would cover it for you. I would get on every single ride and attraction, and so I did it. And you know what? It was one of the most exhilarating experiences of my life, and I had a blast.
See, and while it's named after Aerosmith, that deserves a metal skull hand. Rah! Conquering fears.
Susan says to you, Mark, true Mark, the only thing you can control is your reaction.
Yep.
Miriam Brooks says, I had to get off a ride in Dollywood due to not fitting, but I will keep trying. I think that's
the
awesome.
best attitude to have.
Yeah, because
keep trying.
Yeah. And you know, I feel like all the years and times that I'd been to Hollywood Studios and I never went on that roller coaster, and then when I went on it, it was amazing and it felt like flying, and I didn't even know I had gone upside down, and it was incredible. Do you know how stupid I felt after that? And like, what a waste of time and energy for not having tried something. And it made me a little bit more brave. I did actually go on Tower of Terror, which I never thought I would do because I'm afraid. I have a lifelong fear of falling. Not heights, but falling.
Dropping.
Dropping. And so, and that was amazing. That ride was so fantastic.
I mean, to speak of my situation with the seizure stuff, there's rides that I know there. I mean, I didn't have seizures until I was older, in my 30s. And there's rides there that I know will not necessarily agree with me. You know what I do? If I like the ride, I go on that junk anyway, and I do this.
Yeah.
On the part that I know is coming up, and then open my eyes. Just live life and have fun. You know, don't be afraid. Just keep on trying. Keep on living. Keep on doing what you need to do.
Christina says, I have a fear of Space Mountain. Somebody was saying they have a fear of like not being able to get off the ride or being stuck in it because it's like awkward to get out of. I totally get that.
Oh, what's that one ride at Magic Kingdom that's over there by the People Mover that was in a complete nightmare?
Oh, Astro Orbiter is the worst, in my opinion, ride ever. And I'm going to ride that for you and show you why I hate it. But
We did it, and I gotta tell you, I haven't been on a ride since I was a little kid. You know, and all of the, you know, Pammie plus transparency. I weigh 287. I'm like about 5'10". All my weight's in the middle. Nice big old fat. You would think that I drink gallons of beer.
Milk.
Yeah, milk. Used to be donuts and milk, but now it's just milk. But anyway, Astro Orbiter, it was an absolute nightmare to get on and off that ride. But once we were on it, you know, it was still fun. Getting off of it, it took a couple seconds, but managed to squeeze out of it. Now, I shan't tell a lie. If Pammie says to me, let's do Astro Orbiter, I'm like, no, forget that, John.
No.
It was just uncomfortable enough that it's not something that I would do again. But we gave it a shot, we tried it out, and we determined for ourselves that it was not something we were interested in doing.
So somebody said, please tell us why Astro Orbiter is bleh. It's terrible because
the seats are this big.
You approach the vehicle and you actually have to step up onto a wing because it's like a little rocket. So you step on the rocket's wing, and then once you get up on the rocket's wing, you got to swing one of your legs inside of the ride up over the lip of the ride, the side of the ride, and step down into it. And then you got to pull your other leg up over that high thing. When you have short little legs like mine, it's not easy.
Corgi legs.
Then you sit down in the thing, and then it's like you're sitting on the floor. It's like you're sitting on a chair seat cushion that's on the floor.
No, like one of those things that you put in the bathtub, like to sit on when you take a shower.
Right. It's like that. It's like right on the ground. It's like sitting on a chair that's stuck to the ground. So if you're a wider person like I am, you literally like I just fit inside that opening. Like the sides of the ride are sticking to the sides of my body, and I have to put my arms up over the sides of the ride because it's so narrow. And if you're a tall person, there's like no leg room in there for your legs. I don't know what tall people do in there, but I can stretch my legs out ahead of me. Then the ride goes up in the air, kind of like Dumbo does or Magic Carpets, and it spins around in a circle. But it spins kind of fast, and you actually feel like you're in a centrifuge, and you actually kind of like, I found myself like crushed up against the side of the vehicle, and because it's an older ride, it makes a lot of weird noises, like, and and you're up on top of the building and you're like spinning super fast. It feels like you're gonna die. Like, I did not like it. And I love stuff that thrill rides and stuff, and I did not like that.
Jan Blackcat. Sorry to interrupt, Pammie, but what is your guys' favorite ride? I don't know about her, but I like all the baby rides. I like Aladdin. I like you go over to Animal Kingdom, like Triceratops, all those like little old fashioned rides.
You
just
like
go
Winnie the
this.
Pooh?
Yeah, baby rides.
You
That's
like
what I like.
the teacups?
Yeah.
But yeah, like, so when the ride stops for Astro Orbiter, the hard part is getting out, because essentially you're sitting with your legs stretched in front of you, and you've got to like scramble and put your legs up underneath your body and then push your body up out of this capsule that you're like stuck into. So you kind of have to get up out sideways, get into a standing position, and then somehow step up over the side of the vehicle onto the wing. And the wing's like little, it's like barely big enough to put
You
my
can tell
foot
that
on.
junk was made in like the 1970s when everybody was like mini people.
Because you can't get 2 feet on that thing. It's like crazy. So trying to get out of that ride is just like the worst ever. And it's because you have to step up like, what, 2 feet to get on the wing? And then maybe like a foot or so. It just seems that way to me because I've got really short legs. But it's just not worth it. No. So if you want to get on a ride that goes in a circle and you have a nice view, go to Magic Carpets. I think it's got an even better view than Dumbo. But
and plus you can get people squirt by the camel.
Yeah. Alex V says, I'm 6'4". Besides Astro Orbiter, what other rides would a tall person like myself have a difficult time in? It depends on what park you're going to. Are you talking about Magic Kingdom? Because I think that some people who are taller have a little bit of difficulty scrambling out of the Space Mountain capsules, getting out of the cars in the Tomorrowland Speedway.
Bye, Sam Shields 18. Have a good night's sleep.
So some of the rides that are like that don't have a lot of leg room. I'm trying to think I'm short, so I don't know as far as leg room goes. Oh, I know that some of the boat rides can be tough. So if you're a taller person, you probably don't have a ton of leg room in there. When you go to board the ride, tell them that there are 2 people. Like if you're with a party of like 6 people, tell them that there's 2 in your party and ride with only 1 other person so that you can sit sideways and turn your legs to the side so you'll have a little bit more room. And never, ever, 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 ever sit in the front of a boat. It has the least amount of leg room. It looks like it has a lot of leg room because the front of the boat is peaked like that, and you get the impression that that peak has a lot of room, but you've got to remember those sides are tapered down. And because the sides of the ride are tapered down at the front, you actually have less leg room than in any of the other rows.
Evelyn makes a good point too. Any ride that has your hips lower than your knees tend to be dicey for taller people. Common sense, good words to go by.
That's true. Alan says, my wife Kathy is plus size and Thunder Mountain is a fun ride for her. The seats are easy to slide in and not too low. I agree with that. And I like to sit by myself in that and kind of slide back and forth. I think we rode it together once, like right next to each other. Big Thunder Mountain Railroad.
I've never been on that ride.
Yes, because you screamed and you said you were going to break up with me. It was when we were dating. And I made you go on it the one time and you just screamed and screamed the whole time. He hates roller coasters. The other one that I made him go on, we were married by that point, and I thought, he can't get rid of me now. He told me...
I can always get rid of you anytime I want.
He screamed...
You got enough of a fan base now I can pawn you off on somebody if I need to.
He screamed. It was on Primeval Whirl. He started screaming, we're getting a divorce!
Yeah, that was supposed to be some baby roller coaster. Baloney. That was terrible.
I lied.
That was terrible. You vicious temptress woman.
I can't say this name. Aussie Entman says, thank you for that $5 contribution. I really appreciate that. He says, how do you combat embarrassment doing the walk of shame when fitting on a ride is too difficult? First of all, my friend, we do not call it a walk of shame. There's a couple of reasons why. Number one, walk of shame, and I won't go into details because this is a family-friendly program, is a term that came out of sexual assault. many years ago, 20, 30 years ago, it was a term that referred to a form of sexual assault. So because of that, I don't like to use that terminology in any of my social media platforms, and I ask that people don't use it at all because it's terrible. Also, it infers that you have to be ashamed that you did not fit on a ride, and I did discuss this earlier. It's not your fault that the ride was poorly designed. Unless you were the person who designed the ride, then you can be ashamed that you didn't fit on it. But instead, we call it an early exit.
And I'll tell you something. The first time went to do Flight of Passage, I had no intention of getting on the ride to begin with. I went explicitly to film, and our experience has been Disney is pretty awesome about that type of thing. They don't, our experience is that they're pretty gracious, and
Very.
they don't make a scene out of it. They don't make a big deal out of it. I have seen people that are leaving the rides that are making a much bigger issue than anybody else around them is. I wanted to do this so bad. Boo!
I'm so humiliated.
And it's all in your own personal reaction.
Yes.
Like the embarrassment level. Look, I play music, I get up on stage, I write songs, I screw up my own songs. I can sit there and stop the song, or I can keep playing and hope nobody noticed. 99% of the time, I keep playing and nobody did notice because I didn't draw attention to the mistake. Not saying that trying a ride and not fitting is a mistake. I hope you understand what I'm trying to communicate.
Yeah.
But it just goes along with the whole fear thing. Just live your life. If it's that big of a deal to you, hold it in, walk away, and when you're in a moment of privacy, then have your moment. But nobody's going to notice unless you have your moment in front of everybody else.
That is 100% true. As I mentioned earlier, trying a ride to see if it works for you is no different than trying on a pair of shoes and seeing if the shoes work for you. And if the shoes don't fit you, oh well, try another pair. There's too many things at Disney and other theme parks that are fantastic you can't let that ruin your day. My key things for you to combat that fear, to get that fear out of you before you go on your trip, is to join plus size groups for travel, for theme parks, for whatever theme park that you're going to, and learn as much information as you can. Ask questions, watch videos, get yourself informed, know what to expect before you go there. Know that there might be a chance you won't fit, or there might be a pretty good chance that you will. And then talk to your family and friends who are traveling with you and let them know, hey, I want to try this ride. I don't know if the seat's going to be comfortable for me. So if you see me get up and leave, stay on the ride, enjoy it. I'll meet you at the exit. So have a game plan before you even go so that nobody makes a stink. Because sometimes your family and friends can make a big stink and go, oh, you don't fit. And then they embarrass you. They don't mean to, but they do.
Julie, I want to mention something based on what you're saying. It's just not easy when you have been laughed at when making an early exit, not at Disney, but it led to my fear of it when at Disney. Pam and I have talked about this before, and it really has been brought up, and she may punch me in the side of the head later for saying it now, but I'm going to say it anyway. Whether we all want to admit it or not, we all laugh at somebody else for something. When I was a kid, I remember getting in many fistfights because my mom was skinny. There was a girl before Pamela who I went everywhere with that was over 6 feet tall and this fat. And we would go to Disney, and I would hear people all the time going, oh my God, look how tall that girl is. Oh my gosh, she's so skinny. It always goes every single way. And how we react and how we choose to take things determines our fear level and the way that we continue to have our time. I'm sorry if you've been laughed at before, but the people that work at Disney are good about not pointing these things out.
Right. They're very kind and gentle about it and understanding, and they genuinely want you to have a good time. I know these people. I am friends with cast members, and I can tell you there's nothing they want more in the world than for you to have fun. The other part of what Mark says is true, and I want to add to what he said. Every single person makes fun of somebody else. We all look at people, and you might look at them and go, gosh, that person is really tall. And you're thinking that in your mind. And you look at them in shock. Or you might think, oh my gosh, her hair is so blonde. I've never seen hair that blonde before. Or, oh my goodness, that outfit is really scandalous. We all have those thoughts in our heads, but we don't plan to destroy someone's life. We don't mean to hurt their feelings. We don't necessarily want for someone to overhear us say something like that. But we've all done it because we're human beings. And it doesn't matter how perfect you think you look, there's always someone out there looking at someone, even the most perfect person, and somebody's got something to say about everybody.
Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect. Being made fun of or having comments made or given dirty looks is not a fat person thing. It is a human thing. You can rest assured in knowing that we have all been there and we have all faced it, and we have all dealt it out to other people at one point or another, whether or not we meant to. So you have to just let it go. And the other part of it is, if you happen to overhear Joe Schmo from Kokomo as he's passing by you make a crack about how fat you are, did he pay your trip? Did he pay for your trip?
Dude, we got
Does he
a
pay your
guy.
bills?
We got a guy on camera in Animal Kingdom making fun of Pam when she was in line to meet Donald Duck. He didn't know he was caught on camera, and it was the funniest thing in the world afterwards when he realized he was caught on camera. He was like, all terrified.
There were people who were there who kind of like confronted the guy about what he said, but it was actually a Magic Kingdom, and it was where when I went to go meet Daisy, and Daisy is a fortune teller, and I went up to Daisy and I said, hey Daisy, are you going to tell my fortune? And so the guy did not know that somebody was holding a camera that had audio, and he said, yeah, I know it's in your future. You're going to go on a diet or something like that, right? So, and I guess the people around him then were like, you're a jerk, and told the guy he was a jerk, and he got told off for saying that. And later on, I went to go edit the footage, and I heard him say that, and I started laughing because I was like, that's actually pretty funny.
I mean,
that was quick on the draw when I was like, hey, tell my fortune. I know it's your fortune. You're going to lose weight. I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny. It cracked me up.
Dude, you didn't cause offense.
Not at all.
It's just clarifying.
I'm glad you brought that up, actually. You're awesome.
It's just clarifying terminology. No offense.
You did not cause offense.
Don't feel bad.
I am so happy that we are able, you said, I hope you realize how much you are impacting people's lives for the better. Much love all the way from Australia. Dude, we love you. We're so happy that you brought that up because we're just very passionate about that and having people see that you can't be afraid. There's people looking at everybody, people judging everybody everywhere. Those people who look at you and judge you or crack at you or make a laugh or whatever, they're not paying your bills. They didn't pay for your trip. They don't pay your rent. They don't pay your mortgage. They don't know you. They don't know your life. If you ever see them again, it will be in passing as you're walking through the park somewhere else, and you'll never see them again. And you cannot let that person ruin your life because they are having a moment. You can't let that ruin it.
Kathy, to me, that's the attitude to have. You laugh it off. The only time I've ever noticed anybody doing the early exit is when they cause a scene about their own inability to do something, because I'm living my life. I'm having my fun at the park. I'm doing my thing. I paid my money to go. Mm-hmm. I'm having my fun, So, I don't know.
Fogo Pogo says, I found a big thing that made a difference for me when I went to Universal last year. I wore a special outfit. Definitely helped me enjoy my time, made me excited, and I even got a few compliments. Yeah, wear something fun.
Yep, just like me. Wear black. It makes it special, makes everybody fearful.
But, wear ears, wear a fun hat, wear a fun shirt, wear something cool, have a special shirt made up.
My special hat got crushed.
I know. Marianne says, I was in Vegas in 2004 and wanted to go on some rides with some other plus-size girls, and stunned when they told me no, that they would not fit and they would not even try. I always try. Evelyn, you gotta try the ride. You have to. Life is too short. Worst thing comes to worst, you don't fit on it, you just walk away.
Was it Evelyn or was it Marianne?
Was it Marianne? Oh, sorry, Marianne. Evelyn says, embarrassment is internal. It is tough to overcome, but yes, it passes. I found over the years that people around during the embarrassing moment are actually supportive. That is true. Look at you looking at your hair.
Oh, it's so terrible.
It's
That's my man vanity. It's
I love you just the way you are.
I used to have hair like this, except it wasn't gray. And now it's like this.
He had long hair down his back before I knew him, and I was like, he showed me pictures, and he's like, doesn't that look cool? And I was like, I would never have dated you. No way. B. Weber, thank you so much for that amazing contribution. It says, this is such a great topic to discuss. It's so important to get it out in the open so we can stop seeing it as taboo or something to be ashamed of. We all need to live, love, and have fun. And you know what? Here, I want you to remember as well that, yes, sometimes we do not, seats don't work for us, or rides don't work for us, or booths and restaurants don't work for us because of what our size is. But please keep in mind that if you're getting on a ride like Flight of Passage, that ride, although it didn't work for me and I had to make an early exit, it doesn't work for people who are very tall. It doesn't work for people who are very muscular. It doesn't work for people who have certain kinds of lower level mobility concerns, lower body mobility concerns. It doesn't work for people who have a mixture of upper and lower body mobility concerns, who are still able to walk, but yet they have some difficulties and challenges. It doesn't work for them either. There's short-statured people it doesn't work for. It doesn't work for some elderly people. It doesn't work for people who are very, very petite. There's a lot of people that ride doesn't work for, and it's like that with any roller coaster.
Just any ride? Flight
of Passage. But it's like that with a lot of different roller coasters and rides and thrill rides. Not everything works for every person. You are not alone in it just because you're a plus size person. There are other people of other sizes with other physical needs that things don't work for. You heard Mark say earlier, he has epilepsy. There's tons of rides that he can't go on. Like Universal Studios, most of the rides there are simulator rides. And because there's...
And this sucks because I love simulator rides. Before, you know, when I was skinnier and smaller and younger, those were always my favorite rides. But when she got her Universal pass, I didn't even bother. Because I knew from my friends that have passes that go, they've told me about the rides. And it's like, I'm not even going to waste my money on it because I can't do anything there. And I don't want to just walk around. That's a waste of well, for me anyway, I think it's a waste of money. Somebody else might disagree, you know.
I do want him to go to, because Fogopogo has mentioned, also with Forbidden Journey, the walk through the castle is an experience in itself. So do that and just skip the ride itself. I really want Mark to just for us to just have a nice day where I don't vlog or don't do anything, and we get him a ticket to go to like a park hopper ticket to both parks, because he's mad, serious, big time Harry Potter fan. And to have him come to the park and experience that alone, oh my gosh, it's so amazing just to walk through things, because he can walk through Gringotts and he can walk through Forbidden Journey, and I can too. I don't know that I would fit on either of those rides. I've yet to try them, but I will. But yeah, to do that is just cool in itself. The Traveling Husband says, one of us has longer legs and loading into certain rides can be uncomfortable for sure, but once restraints are set for Flight of Passage, you can be super comfortable. It can often be misleading. So yeah, it's definitely true. And Brian says, I've enjoyed just going, so don't skip Universal. So do you have trouble on some of the rides, Brian, because you're taller?
Well, you said it up above. I can't ride much at Universal. I plan to not renew this year.
Okay. I guess if I read everything, that would be great.
Well, I mean, I got to admit, I could never do this because, man, you guys, it's
You're
rapid
fast.
fire. I mean, stuff, and don't stop by any means, but it's hitting everything would be almost impossible.
I try. I do try.
I'm type A, super OCD about this kind of stuff. It would drive me nuts if I couldn't hit every single comment.
I do my best, but let's see. God, I loved having you here, Mark, because you're catching things that I'm not catching, and you're helping me do a good job.
Well, the option was to watch Bad Moms again, and as much as I love Mila Kunis and watching her get drunk and do dumb stuff, I've seen it several times. So, sorry, buddy, no Van Damme tonight. It was Kristen Bell and Mila Kunis as Bad Moms.
The thing you need to understand about Mark is that he's a tough guy, and he plays heavy metal. And he's definitely a rock dude. And he also likes hot pink is his favorite color. He likes Mila Kunis. He'll watch movies with her in it, romantic comedies, because he thinks she's neat. Who else? You have a bunch of
Jennifer Aniston.
Jennifer Aniston.
I love her.
He loves Drew Barrymore movies.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, he's got both. He's got quite the dichotomy. He's really different. Kind of person who he likes a little bit of everything. That's amazing.
In fact, if I could trade Pammie in for Jennifer Aniston, I would. Ha 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 ha.
Good luck with that, sir.
Yeah, I know. I'm too fat.
Marianne says, "Yeah, heavy metal."
That's right. Again, metal skull.
You guys, we've been chatting for like an hour and 20 minutes, and it's easy to chat even longer because Mark's here. It makes it much more fun. Even
You want me to go away? And I mean, you usually do longer.
No, I usually don't. I usually have to sit here and I wrap it up and type things and finish stuff off, so it takes longer like that. But the chat's usually not that long. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for coming and sharing the things that you're afraid of, and I hope that maybe we can get across to you that you're not necessarily going to be totally fearless when you go to a park, but stand up and hold your head up high, try everything, and know that you are not alone, that there have been people who've gone before you who've had rides not work for them, and it's been okay. And don't let it ruin your day, and remember that there's tons of other fun stuff to enjoy in the parks, that you're with your friends and family. And if you have kids, they're really watching you. They see the way you react, and if you react in a negative way, you're gonna teach them to be negative about stuff. But if you go, "Man, I'm really disappointed, that stinks, I really want to go on that ride, oh well, we've got another fast pass for this other thing, what are we doing next?" And they see you snap back like that, they see you go through disappointment but recover from it, man, that's an amazing lesson for your kids. So I hope that you keep that in mind. Bye, Fogobogo. Thank you for joining us from Canada. You're welcome, the traveling husbands. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I appreciate your insight about for tall people. That was amazing. Taylor, thank you for being here as well. Alicia, thanks for being here, and thank you to our moderators tonight. I really, really appreciate you guys donating your time to be here.
You guys do a great job.
You do an amazing job. Thank you so much for all your hard work. You guys, we love you. We love chatting with you tonight. I'm so glad Mark came in here and joined us. And remember, guys, life is a roller coaster.